Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Chase, Rocky Mountain ATB MC. Thank you so much for checking in. So today we're showing you the 60 ATB-2T mountain bike helmet. If you're shopping for a mountain bike helmet, 60 has some really cool, very unique technology that they are known for. And now years and years ago, about 2014, 2015-ish, we saw them come out with their ATR1 dirt bike helmet, which I'll admit was kind of a shock to the system for the dirt bike world because they have their omni-directional suspension. And what's cool is that that is carried on, but now they have their mountain bike helmets that utilize a lot of the same technology. So we're going to go through, we're going to talk about what is so cool about that omni-directional suspension, and there's also some other cool tech that goes into this. And the whole idea with this helmet is they just want to make the safest helmet possible for both low, mid, high-speed impacts as well as your linear and your rotational energy. So we'll talk about how they did that. So first of all, as far as sizing goes, so you do have the dial here on the back. So with the liner, as we're used to with mountain bike helmets, you can twist this to tighten or loosen that, which is nice. So it just helps give a customized fit. You can get that as tight as you would like it to be when you put the helmet on. But these aren't apparel items, so if you buy a mountain bike helmet from us, even for motocross as well, if you don't like how the helmet fits, you can send it back in brand new, unused condition. We want to make sure you get the size and the fit that you are happy with, so we do give you free shipping both ways on your first exchange. So that being said, with the new 2T, so this is an updated version. So they had their original helmet and they've made a few tweaks to it. They've lightened the helmet up just a little bit, and there are some other changes too that I would like to point out as we go through and we talk about it. But what you need to know, polycarbonate shell, very lightweight helmet. The visor on here does have 3 stops for adjustability. So right now it's in this lowest position, but I can go up 2 clicks. So what's nice about that is that if you are wearing goggles, you could use the spot right here to put your goggles if you're not, when you're not riding, or if maybe you're doing some climbing, you could store your goggles up here. But also in the back, what I like to see too is that these 2 vent holes right up here on top, they actually, you can see you have these little plastic inserts in there. So that is actually designed to be a glasses port or a dock. So if you're like me, when I'm mountain biking, you know, if it's hot and I'm sweating a lot, I don't like to wear my sunglasses a lot when I'm pedaling just because I don't like to drip sweat on the lenses. So I like a place where I can store my glasses while I'm not wearing them. So that's what you have up here on top. But as you can see, a lot of cutouts on this helmet to help this thing breathe as much as possible. You've got the Fidlock chin strap. On the inside, you have their Ionic Plus Comfort Liner, which is very high quality. It's very good at wicking away moisture. You can remove this thing, you can wash it, hand wash it, put it back in the helmet. You're gonna be good to go. But let's talk about the tech and what makes this helmet pretty unique. So like I said, several years ago, we saw the 60 off-road helmets come out, and what made them unique and stand out is their omni-directional suspension. So inside this helmet, you can actually kind of see here, so right here on the side, so this lighter material that I'm touching right now is EPS, and that's what we've been seeing in helmets for years and years and years. So that's expanded polystyrene. And the reason that companies use it is because it does a phenomenal job of absorbing impact, especially at those high-speed, hard impacts. EPS will absorb that energy. But once EPS crushes, it is damaged, it doesn't retain its shape. So that's something that you want to know with any mountain bike helmet, whether it's dirt bike, anything, is if you have a big impact and you damage, you can actually visibly see that you've compromised the EPS liner. You want to get rid of that helmet because once it does that and it's compromised, it's not going to be able to absorb another impact as well as it did the first time. So that is something that you do want to keep in mind. But you've got the EPS here on the outside, but then on the inside here, what I'm touching right here, this is EPP, and that stands for expanded polypropylene. And the properties of this are a little bit different than EPS. And the reason for propylene is because it's a little bit softer. You can even feel it to the touch. And so with 6D, one of the big things that they're trying to accomplish is not just have EPS that's going to absorb those high speed, those bigger impacts, but they want to make sure that even at lower speeds, you know, you don't have to be going that fast to have that big of an impact to cause a head injury. So they want to be able to absorb good energy at low, mid, and high speed impacts. So what they've done is you've got EPP here, which like I said, has a softer touch to it. So it absorbs energy at lower impacts better than EPS does. So that's one of the main benefactors of why they have that here. Also, what's cool about this is that in between that EPP liner and the EPS, that is where you get their omnidirectional suspension. So it's called their isolation dampers. And they're these little red things that actually separate these 2 liners. And the reason for those, and this is where they get the name 6D, is that it allows the liners to move in 6 degrees of motion. And the reason for that is, with helmet technology, we've been learning about this a lot over the years, is that you don't want to have that abrupt stop when you have an impact. You want your head to basically rotate inside the helmet, and that will disperse and mitigate a lot of those rotational forces. So with those isolation dampers separating these two liners, it allows these liners, you can see, when I take this with my fingers, you get a lot of movement in between the EPP and the EPS, and it's allowing that to really just move freely, and it can move, as you can see, in all different directions. So that's one of the big main benefits to those isolation dampers, but also they compress, they can do linear impacts as well. So not only do they help with the rotational energy, but they also absorb just those big straight up and down impacts, so you're getting multiple benefits. However, one of the new updates, and that's really cool with the new AT2, is that now the EPS, so before with the previous helmet, you would have those isolation dampers that were directly connecting the two liners on the inside, the EPS and the EPP. But now what they've done is that there's basically like a hard plastic shell that is between the EPP and the EPS. And that is also allowing to have a lot of that movement that you are seeing. So with the previous version of this helmet, you really couldn't move the EPP liner this much like I'm doing right now. So they've gotten even more movement by adding that plastic sleeve in between these that kind of holds everything together. And you have these towers inside there as well that are also there to help absorb linear impact. So it's pretty unique what 6D is doing. Like I said, it's very, very unique. You've got the two separate liners separated by those isolation dampers. You've got that new plastic insert that's inside there to allow those to move as freely as possible. So again, when you go down, a word that I like to use is decouple. You want to take the rider's head and decouple it from the actual shell and the liner, and by allowing the head to rotate and move just a little bit more inside the helmet when you have that initial impact, can help reduce and slow down that energy that is normally transferred to the rider's head and to the rider's brain. So again, with this helmet, the ATB AT2, very unique, very cool helmet. It's got a lot of cool technology stuff that we're not seeing in other mountain bike helmets. It is pricey, you're going to be north of $200, but again, you're investing in your safety here. So, if you've been looking at these helmets, you're not quite sure, hopefully watching this video is kind of help explain some of the cool technology that has gone into this and help you decide if this should be your next helmet. But if you do have more questions or comments, we'd love to get those answered, so make sure, leave those in the comment section below. To grab one of these or to see the other mountain bike helmets that we offer, click on the link or head over to RockyMountainATVMC.com. Also, don't forget, 6D also does have a downhill helmet. You can actually see that hanging up behind me. So if you're looking for more of a downhill style helmet that still features the same technology, be sure to check that out. As always, we ship for free over $75. If you like this video and you want to stay up to date on product spotlights like you saw today, make sure to get subscribed to the Rocky Mountain YouTube channel, hit that notification bell, and that will keep you up to date. I'm Chase. We'll see you on the trails.